Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my first live streaming. It was a bit of a hustle for me because I've never done this before, as you might have known. And I struggle a bit to set things up, but I hope everything is smooth. If there is any problems, just let me know. So, yeah, well, who am I? My name is Jeffrey. I have been trading Bitcoin for about 5 years, 6 years maybe. Let's say I survived Mt. Gox. And recently I've been doing pretty well. My Twitter has exploded, mostly because of some calls I made. And I just wanted to share with you how I currently trade, what my setups are, what my thoughts are on Bitcoin, and what the major altcoins will be for the rest of the year. Okay, so let's go. Why should you trade? That's one of the first thing I would like to discuss. If you want to interact with me through the comments, that would be very nice. I myself started trading mainly out of curiosity. I was curious as to, what is Bitcoin? What can I do with it? What can I buy with it? And from that, mainly came a piece of financial freedom, which really set me up to keep doing it and to keep getting better at it. Because if you can do it well, you can achieve a lot. So without further ado, I will discuss with you, first of all, Bitcoin, how Bitcoin looks at the moment, what I think is going to happen. We just had a major up. As you can see here, there was some news about North Korea. Actually, let me just expand this. I expected there to be a head and shoulders here, but actually Bitcoin exploded along with gold. And basically what I learned from that is that Bitcoin and gold are connected. They are linked. Bitcoin is not linked with the markets. So I expect if the markets go down because of some North Korea news or something bad happens, I expect Bitcoin to go up and vice versa. So the overall view, what do we have here? It looks like we are in a major bubble right now. A lot of people are asking me, Jeffrey, are we in a bubble? We are up thousands of dollars from the last high, as you can see here. But let's see what happens if I put the logarithmic scale here. Let me just drag this. We are currently not in a Bitcoin bubble. As you can see, we were in a Bitcoin bubble a while ago, back in 2013. Let's say I open the long position right here. It's not letting me open a long position. That's great. Let me try it this way. I think I broke it a bit. It's all out of proportions. There we go. If I opened a long position in 2012, I would be up approximately, for fuck's sake, 34,000% in 2013. This was actually a major bubble. Mt. Gox collapsed, and as you can see, we went down about 1/5 of the price that Bitcoin was at the top. We went all the way from 1100. Mt. Gox was hacked. All these Bitcoins were sold off on BTC, which put tremendous pressure on the Bitcoin price. And we went down all the way to 200. I was lucky enough to not be on Mt. Gox. If I would have been, I would not be trading today, I can tell you that much. And after we bottomed out right about here at 200, let me just change the color. You see, we accumulated some Bitcoins. It took about 2 years or 3 years to recover from that. As you can see, this was the major Bitcoin crash. If you compare it to the crash of last month, let me remove the logarithmic scale. I don't know why TradingView keeps doing this. This piece right here, it might see like a major crash. We went down from 5,000 all the way to 3,000. Might seem huge, but if you go to the logarithmic scale, put it percentage-wise, it's basically like it's nothing. It's only, what is it, 20%? Now for the trading part, I will show you how to trade a Bitcoin trade. Trades, usually consists of about 3 things, which is an entry. Have to remove this again. It's an entry, it's a target, and it's a stop loss. So let's say I would enter the market right here. There is a nice tool for it. I suggest you actually use the tool. Let's say I enter the market here. My target would be, this is just an example. Let's see, what would my target be if I enter it there? It would have been, would have been right around here. As you can see, the last high broke, it was retested, and it bounced up again. And a trade consists of a stop loss, which is something that most traders actually forget. Most traders, they enter a trade, they're like, oh, that's awesome, this charts look amazing. I'm going to enter the market right here, and my target is going to be 1800. And then what happens? Let's say you enter the market here. They put their target at 1800, they don't have a stop loss, and boom, it crashes. Their margin is blown if they use margin. Most Bitcoin traders actually do use margin. Sometimes I don't wonder why, because Bitcoin is already volatile as it is, but they use margin, they don't have a stop loss, gets blown, or their money is gone. They're going to go get loans to buy more Bitcoin, and they're going to have to sell their house. So stop loss, very important. Now, the second part of trading is as follows. On the left side, you have a toolkit. And what is this toolkit? It consists of multiple tools you can use to actually verify if your trade is good. Same with the indicators. You have a ton of indicators. And I usually compare it to a carpenter making a chair. Let's say you're a carpenter and you're going to build a chair, and you are going to build a chair only with one tool. See, let's say I'm a great carpenter, I've got one tool, Fibonacci. Now, if I'm going to build a chair with only a hammer, it's not going to look very nice, is it? It's not going to function, it's not going to work. I need a screwdriver, I need screws, I need nails, I need a hammer, I need a saw. And it's the same thing when it comes to trading. When you want to do a trade, you are going to use multiple tools in order to make the trade. And I will reveal how I did my last major trade, which was actually a Bitcoin trade. And I did it as follows. I used the on-balance volume. I will explain in future seminars what all this means, but this is just an indicator. I used a Fibonacci. I used an RSI, which is Relative Strength Index. And I also used, and this is a little bit more complicated, it's an Elliott wave strategy. Elliott has in the past decided that every major market move up consists of 3 different waves. So that's 1. The first wave is always large. The second wave is the largest. It goes the furthest up. And then you have a third wave, which usually it barely reaches over the second wave if you compare it. And actually what happened here in this trade is as follows. I used the daily chart. I used the on-balance volume, And the unbalanced volume told me that there was a divergence. As you can see, the top here is higher than the top on the right. It's ever so slightly, but it's still higher than the top on the right. Now, this top is much, much lower than this Bitcoin, than this high over here. This high at around 5,000. The previous high was 3,000. So that's a major, major move up of about 50%. And these two indicators that I use very often, and once again, I will explain what they do in a later stage, they both went down. They did not move up with the price. And this is known as a divergence. These are converging indicators, so they should always move up with the price and move down with the price, as you can see here. And if they don't correspond, then you know, okay, let's see, something is wrong here. Something is off. And then you can look further into the trade. Okay, where are my Fibonacci's? As you can see, it bounced nicely off this Fibonacci here. And Fibonacci is just a sequence of numbers that I use and that Fibonacci used in the past to determine certain things in nature, in trading. It can be used for a lot of things. It's used in building structures. It's used in trading. It's used for many things. And what I did here, it went as follows. For this, I will have to move to the 4-hour chart. But as you can see, let me draw a support line. And now we can go to 1-day chart again. It bounced off the support once, twice, and then thrice, and bam, it went through. And I have to admit, it fooled me here. I made a short. I did a stop loss. Let me show you. I made a short. My stop loss was just ever so slightly above the resistance. And now it's not letting me grab this anymore. Oh well, doesn't matter. My stop loss was just above resistance. I opened the short and bam, Bitcoin fooled me. It went back up. And this is why stop loss is important, because this right here, it would have blown my margin completely. It would have removed all my cash, made me fugitive, have to live in a box, and we don't want that. So I canceled the trade. Then when it went down through the resistance again, I opened the short. As you can see here, my target was this Fibonacci line. Corresponds very nice with this previous stop. It also happens to correspond hold on. No, it actually didn't. And if you can see here, we have a channel. Here's the top. It bounced off here ever so slightly. You can see a small bounce here. And this is the current trading channel that we are in right now. So this is something we have to watch the coming weeks or days. And that's how I made about from, well, let's say 4,300. I started it a little bit earlier because I was paying attention and I saw it crash. But the short went all the way to 3,000, and the people in my group know it. They participated. We made some nice profit. And then boom, it bounced again. And that's why you always need to have a target. So let's say you were asleep here. You did not set the sell, the stop win thingy. It went up and boom, your profits are gone. Now let's look at today. So that's basically how I set up trades. Is there any questions about that? Which platform do I recommend to start trading Bitcoin? It's a very difficult question. And why is it a difficult question? It actually differs for Europeans and for Americans. But I reckon Bitfinex, Kraken are some good platforms to start. Kraken is rather difficult to start with, mostly because of the advanced functions they offer. You could, of course, just buy and sell some Bitcoin and see if you can make a profit. But Bitfinex, Kraken, I myself use Bittrex mostly, but of course you need Bitcoins in order to, well, use Bittrex. You cannot just deposit euros there. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about now is the trade of the week with Bitcoin. As you can see again, what happened here. I'll put down my Fibonacci. I always use the Fibonacci. And you trace the Fibonacci from up till the last low. A lot of people do it like this, from low to high, but that's wrong, as if you're in an uptrend anyway. If you're in a downtrend, it's a different story. So we have our Fibonacci levels. You can see it bounced really nicely off the 0.38. Currently we are at the 61, which is the most important Fibonacci of them all. And what happened here? To be honest, I was fooled a little bit because we had a down and then we had an up again and another higher up and then a small up. And this pattern, most of you, I'm sure you know it, is called a head and shoulders. And what is a head and shoulders? A head and shoulders pattern is a bearish pattern, unless it's upside down. Of course, you can have an upside down head and shoulders. It also exists. But of course, this one is straight. And what does this tell us? Usually, this usually tells us that the price will break above the neckline, which is the bottom line. The price bounces off and go down. And I expected it to go down. And what happened today? There came some news of North Korea calling Trump's claims war threats, I believed. And let me draw up a resistance line for you. And what happened? Boom, it went straight through the resistance. And of course, we are not out of the woods yet. We have a hidden resistance line right over here. And we are testing that now. I will just remove that because it clogs up the page. But as you can see, it went through. So this means the right shoulder and the whole head and shoulders is gone. It's invalidated. And what I'm trying to do right now is make any sense of this. How can this happen? Save the children. And what I'm looking out for is this support. I actually opened a position. When this broke, I expect a small down test. And I expect this to go further up. I really do. Mostly because we broke the negative trend on the unbalanced volume. As you can see, it went straight through. But I do believe we will bounce a couple more times on the supports because we are currently oversold, which is a rather bad sign. And like I said before, gold actually bounced with it. So is there any questions right now? Inverted head and shoulders, yes, that's actually something I have been looking at. Although this would be an amazingly deformed head and shoulders. I mean, if your head and shoulders look like this, you should go to the doctor because this is not healthy. But of course, as I said before, What do I expect from the Chinese market? I expect the whole Chinese volume to to move to North Korea and South Korea, mostly South Korea, of course, and to just move there and start trading there. I mean, it is possible. Everybody knows. And let me just make this clear: Chinese volume is about 15% of the total Bitcoin volume, so it's a bit exaggerated, you know. Oh no, the Chinese and everybody sells. And I think China has banned Bitcoin for about 50 times now, if not more. So you should not worry too much. It's all panic. It's all wish wish. What do I expect for Bitcoin now? Oh, that's a great question. What do I expect for Bitcoin now? Let me tell you what I expect. I don't know. And why don't I know? Because we need to get some confirmation. And how do we get confirmation? That's a good question. If we manage to break this trend line, now it's back. It was gone for some reason. Oh, fuck off. If we manage to break this trend line in combination with this line on the unbalanced volume, so this resistance has to go on the unbalanced volume. If we push higher now and the unbalanced volume still declines, we have a major divergence, which is bearish. Sell all your Bitcoins. We are going back to 1800. I don't expect that, however. I expect Bitcoin to form a rising wedge, just like this. Let me just put that here. We have our resistance here. You might think, why not put it here? No, this is like unconfirmed territory. We've been there once. I will put it here because this is far more major. If we manage to break this, we will go up. Would I place more merit on the unbalanced volume or the overbought RSI? That's a good question. The overbought RSI is not visible on the 4-hour chart, but it is there. And I believe right now we will either touch this trend line again, which is exactly why I'm not taking any position right now, or if that doesn't happen, we should bounce on the 61 again, like go down. And that is very important, mainly also to retest this line. We have to go down to the line in order to move up. That's how a breakout works, and that's how you should trade a breakout. You will see, boom, giant candle, correction candle, retest it, and if it holds, it will go further up. And why do I expect Bitcoin to go further up? I will tell you why. And to tell you why, we are going to look at Amazon. Now, why are we going to look at Amazon? Because it's one of the largest corporations in the world. It represents most of the American stock markets. And what do we have here? That is a Head and Shoulders. And if this Head and Shoulders break, and I will show you, we will go all the way to the 61, at least the 61. I think it might even go down lower. Put it at a daily. Have I got it right? Yes, I've got it right. Maybe a little bit lower. We've got a Head and Shoulders. Let me show you something else. We've got another Head and Shoulders. I know this got nothing to do with crypto, but it kind of does, because this looks really, really bad for traditional stock investors. And as we have noticed today, Bitcoin is a safe haven. North Korea ushers a threat. Gold goes up. I can show you. Amazon crashes. Oh no, everybody go to your bomb shelters. And what happens? Gold just explodes. You might not see it on the daily chart, but after the new North Korea news, which was about 4 hours ago, this is huge for gold. Gold is generally very stable, but this is rather huge. Hey, Crypto Hedge, welcome to my stream. It's another YouTuber. I recommend you follow him, Crypto Hedge, on YouTube. So my picks, I will tell you my altcoin picks. I'll give you this one as a gift because I run a private group. Most of you know it. Most of you are in it. And if you're in it, thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it a lot. I truly do. Let me just draw this out. One of my picks for coming months or weeks even, it has to be Zen. Zen has a small market cap. Just hold on, I've got my laptop next to me. It's called Zencash on Bittrex. The market cap is 16 million. And it's an awesome project. And let me go to the day chart here. As you can see, we have the on-balance volume, which is going from a low, according with the price, to a high. The price also moves to a high, and then the price again moves lower. But what does the on-balance volume do? It moves higher, ever so slightly. Let me get my horizontal ray. Check this. Boom. Need to thin this out, and it's above the previous high. The price, however, is much lower. And what does this tell us? Just like with the Bitcoin trade, when the price was higher, the on-balance volume was lower, everything was lower, we have divergence. And I think that means that within a couple of days, we will see an explosion. Oh, it's actually gone up a bit again. It's against the resistance. It's testing it here. It's testing it here. It's testing it here. And I believe that in a matter of days, we will be at 0027. What do I base it off? I base it off the Fibonacci. And this will be my first target. I will actually sell half of my coins here. And why am I selling half? Because we are almost on a double. And one of my rules, and also the reason I have protected my profits so very well, is that to both have a stop loss, this support below, it's my stop loss, it's triggered, trade is dead. Of course, I will draw it again. See, enter the trade, stop loss is about here, target is here. And one of the advantages of using this tool is you can see your risk to reward ratio. And what does this mean? Your reward is 2.5, so 2.5, as much higher than your risk is. And one of the essentials in making any profit at all is to have a higher reward than a risk. And if your trading ratio is 1, then you should be right at least 51 of the times you make a trade to make a profit. If your trading reward ratio is 2.5, you have to be right about, let's say 30% in order to make profits. So back to the questions. Let's see. What about market makers? Oh yes, of course. I will remove this and we will visit Bittrex. The market makers. I will show you one of my favorite market maker coins currently in existence. It has to be NEO, and I'm not sure. Of course, there's no market makers now. Look, there's the market maker. As you can see. And for your thoughts, for your consideration, market maker is somebody with a big fucking stash of Bitcoins. And there's a market maker at play here right now. And what does the market maker do? He puts up a big sell wall right here at 0075 in order to make people think, oh no, this is like a lot of selling pressure. I'm going to sell my NEO. And what does he do? He puts a buy order right here, 3 Bitcoins, right here, also 3 Bitcoins, 6 even, 2 orders of 3. Here's an order for about 6 Bitcoins, and that is the market maker. Oh, now he has put up a wall of 200 Bitcoins. But how do I treat this? Well, I can see from this order book, if he really wanted to sell these orders, he would put them right here at 6. He wouldn't be putting them at 7 where nobody's going to buy. And from what I can see here, he is desperately trying to push the price down. As you all know, NEO is one of the best performing coins in the history of cryptocurrency. Probably he wants to try and push the price lower to a level around here in order to buy. But I don't think that's very likely to happen. Do I have any thoughts on Litecoin? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, sir. Let me just grab my day chart. This is like I have the chart. What's going on here, guys? Okay. I'm try it. Maybe on Coinbase. It's a long. Yes. Okay. Don't need a weekly chart. There we go. So Litecoin. What I always just do is I just put down a Fibonacci retracement. Very important. And we have the unbalanced volume. We have the RSI. Now for this one, I'm also going to put a Holy Grail Magnus indicator. It's a great indicator. And it's as follows, guys. You cannot make anything more of it than it is. The price currently is going down along with the unbalanced volume. And what needs to happen here in order for Litecoin to reverse this? What needs to happen is this line needs to break. It needs to make a higher high than the last unbalanced volume high, which was right around here. I will remove this one and also here. So it needs to break these two resistances from the unbalanced volume, and it also needs to break this little trend that we have on the RSI. It's a bearish trend, and we have a bearish trend on the Magnus. Do I think this is likely to happen? Yes. Yes, I do. I think this is going to happen mostly because I believe cryptocurrency markets will explode by the end of the year, but also just because, you know, Litecoin is doing a good job right now. They're working very hard to make things happen. And what might happen here, as you can see, here is our support. I always make support green, makes things nice and simple. And one of the things I love is that in this small part of the trading chart, you see this tiny little bit of chart, we have a support line. And this support plays all the way through until here. So you know, look left for clues. Here is your clues. Here is your clues about what's going to happen here. But myself, to be honest, I will not buy Litecoin until either the unbalanced volume resistance breaks. We'll make them red just to make things clear. Or until my Magnus indicator breaks this resistance. And as you can see, this is a really nice indicator. It has always been red. You know, Litecoin's bearish. It turns blue right around here. And what happens? We have a major uptrend. Then it turns red again, but this was just, you know, if you sold here, it's a bad thing you did. The indicator was wrong, but then it was blue again. It went up all the way. Now it's red from here. It crashed. It's still red, so it's gonna continue down, I reckon, along with the unbalanced volume. And when we break this, so when we go into oversold state again with the RSI and the price probably somewhere around this Fibonacci, the 7.8, then I'm going to buy. How often will I do such live streams? Every week, maybe multiple times a week. Depends on how much you guys like it. If nobody's going to watch, then I will stop. But I see I've got 55 viewers, so I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you all for being here. Now another one I am currently looking at is Digibyte. You know, there was, and most of you will remember it, there was a massive hype. You know, Digibyte is the future. We're all going to pay 28 times as much than they paid 1 month ago. That didn't really work out, as it never does, so the price crashed again. But the thing is, this tech remains good. It remains a good buy. What do we have here now? My unbalanced volume is gone, I reckon. How did this happen? There we go. And this is actually the last coin I will do because people actually pay money to be in the group. And I don't want them to think like, why am I paying for this if he's doing it for free? But of course, today I had 7,000 followers, had to celebrate it. I think we will accumulate in this channel. Magnus is about to turn blue. Accumulation is about to be done. And I will increase my position if we manage to break this downtrend in the unbalanced volume. Let's see. I think we will break out somewhere in about, let's see, when is this? This is next month, actually, halfway next month. We should be breaking out. Targets are private. Let's see. Of course, I can do it. Zcoin. This was an epic fail for everyone who ever was in Zcoin. If you bought here, a lot of people did, and I was like, don't do it, don't do it. And why did I say that? Because in 2 months' time, the amount of coins was going to increase a tremendous amount from mining, and so the price crashed, of course. Inflation, massive inflation, and now it is stabilized. And what do we see here? What do we see here? I think you will be happy. No, we don't have a support line yet. Or we do. Is this a support line? Yes, this is a support line. Look, touch it twice. I will draw the Fibonacci. Now, what do we have here? This is one of the most bullish signs I have seen in months. If you look at the horizontal ray, look at this volume, very low volume, low volume, low volume, major dump, then boom. Somehow it sparked a massive buying ray. People are going crazy, lots and lots of money flowing in. And by the looks of it, what's going to happen is this is going to retrace about to here, and so will the price. And I think after that, it's going to make a new high, which would be right around. I personally think this is a bit of a stretch, but it should be at least 0.07. So that's a twice. It's a double for you. Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed. Crypto Yoda, Wolf, everybody is hyping it, and it's also one of the things where I go, meh. What if these guys are in a group and they are, you know, if they have a WhatsApp group and there's 10 people in there, each with 50K followers, what's going to happen? You know, I can't prove it. I don't know it. I'm completely into the blue about it, but those things, yeah, you can really notice them. I just spotted a hidden trend line here. As you can see, this is one of the things that just it takes time to see those things. And I also see sometimes people are trading like this. They are drawing 20 resistance lines and they are doing resistance here. And no, that's not how you should trade. You should have max 3 resistances on there, and that's a lot. So once again, the price is going to retrace, according to me, to about here, close to the broken resistance line. I will place it a bit up. There we have it, touched. Actually, I think it's going to accumulate once I change the line. Okay, you see, touch the line. The RSI is pretty high, so how much room does it have right now? Not a lot. I hope to see 2 more down candles, and then boom, we can move to 0.04. So that's it for today, I reckon. In my next live stream, I am going a little bit more in depth on the indicators. Some of them are unbalanced volume, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci, and of course the Elliott wave patterns. I will not treat them all at once. I'm going step by step, and maybe this week I'll do one more live stream. I have a website, and allow me to show it to you. It's not finished yet. It's called Crypto Campus. Don't pay too much attention to it right now, but probably tomorrow or the day after, hopefully, I will have a schedule I think my developer is working on it, so it's a bit slow. Yeah, I will put a schedule up top, and you can see when my live streams are. I will also put them on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at DaytradeJeffrey. It's also in the description. And thank you very much, guys. Let's see. I think this was it. Yep. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you on Twitter and Facebook. Have a good night.